Now, live from Whitney Media, 1460 Wvox, the Greenburgh Report, with Greenburgh Town Supervisor Paul Feiner. You can join in the conversation at 914-636-0110. Now on 1460 Wvox, here's Greenburgh Town Supervisor Paul Feiner.
Hi, my name's Paul Feiner.
I'm David Bach.
And I have a question for our audience. Who would like to live to 120 years old? If you'd like to live to 120, you might want to listen to this program, and you may want to attend an event on June 9th. There's a book, I've decided to live 120 years, The Ancient Secret to Longevity, Vitality, and Life Transformation by I.L.Chi Lee, a New York Times best-selling author. And with us today is Bama Kim, Regional Director of Body and Brain Yoga in New York and New Jersey, a brain education trainer, Director of the Sun Institute School of Massage Therapy, Susan Toms, a registered nurse, Montefiore Medical Center, Einstein Division, and a resident of Ardsley, and Jonathan Martinez, Headmaster of Westchester Body and Brain, and he's the health coach. So maybe we could start by just telling us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Bama Kim, and I'm from the Body and Brain Westchester Center, and we are very pleased to meet all of you, and we would like to share a lot of wisdom how to improve your health and general quality of life.
Hi, my name is Susan Toms, and I'm a nurse at Einstein Hospital. I retired after 40 years, but continue to go back there and work with the nurses in the NICU for stress management.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jonathan Martinez, and I'm the headmaster and manager at Westchester's Body and Brain Center, and a native to this New York state.
Could you tell us a little bit about what Body and Brain Yoga is?
Yes, so Body and Brain Yoga originated in Korea, and then it's a practice that hones over 5,000 years of the Eastern Asian philosophy of healing. So basically what Body and Brain did is we encompassed the Eastern and Western medicine and the most essential forms of practice to healing within our practice. So that includes yoga, meditation, Tai Chi, Qigong, healing of the brain, managing health like dieting and these kind of things, and basic day-to-day actions that we take, how we can manage and how we can implement this principle, this education to help us live a healthy life every single day.
And you have offices in Greenburgh, right, on Central Avenue?
Yes, right in Scarsdale.
And what's the address?
590 Central Park Avenue.
So what type of what do people do when they sign up? How often do they go? And
Some members come 2 or 3 times a day. We have some members who come very often, especially our locals. So again, like our classes encompass yoga, meditation, Tai Chi and Qigong, a lot of the holistic healing trainings that are not the orthodox, or what people mostly don't know, like body tapping or intestinal exercise or certain breathing techniques. So in the day-to-day classes, they come and they participate. 60 minutes of that training.
What makes the yoga at Body and Brain Yoga different?
So for the record, I'd like to say all of yoga is designed to heal the mind and body, to bring it as one together. But what I feel what makes Body and Brain different is we focus on 3 key, I would say, principles. And the first one is energy, feeling energy. Once we feel energy, something in our brain chemicals start to change. So following that feeling is we start to increase the body temperature. So we know even if we increase or decrease by 1 degree, it makes a huge difference to the body. So Body and Brain Yoga, we emphasize increasing that temperature, increasing the passion. And then consciousness, increasing my self-awareness and the brightness of my consciousness, how I can become a better person in my day-to-day life.
Have you been practicing yoga for many years?
I actually have done a lot of different holistic things and traditional yoga, but this practice of Body and Brain has really changed my life. It's really helped me control migraine headaches that I was having very frequently, and now I have them very rarely just by balancing my energy. It's like nothing I've ever experienced before.
We're talking about how to live to 120, and I guess is it guaranteed?
Yes.
It's guaranteed? And you give them their money back if they don't live to 100?
If they don't make it to 120, we'll give it back.
Okay. And I wanted to mention that if somebody thinks that their great-grandson or great-granddaughter is having a major event in 60 years or something, they could get involved in your program. But they could also go to an event next Saturday, June 9th, from 1 to 4 at Westchester Community College. Could you tell us about that?
So June 9th, we have a conference at Westchester Community College. So we'll be talking about, we're running our SEED campaign. So basically, the SEED campaign is how we can manage these 4 important pillars. So S, which stands for stress, E for exercise, the other E is for emotion, and then the 4th E is for diet. So it's a not-for-profit by Earth Citizen organization which proposes to take back our natural right to health, get connected in the spirit of care, and share wisdom, tips, and resources to get naturally healthier together. So basically, we want to share the people the most basic things that they can do to manage their health and their lifestyle. But I feel like we don't really know, or we have so much information and we don't know how to apply in our day-to-day life. So what the SEED campaign does is we offer these kind of things, reaching out to the community, as well as workshops and classes that we teach at the center.
That is great. And who are going to be some of the speakers?
We will be the speakers, me, Susan Neem, and Master Bama, as well as one of our other students who's a clinical nutritionist.
That is great. Is exercise and nutrition, are they all equally important?
Yes, I believe it's all equally important.
And if somebody's like super stressed, what's like the most important advice that you would give them?
First, stop and breathe. I think we get caught up so much in our day-to-day life, including myself, often forgetting that the most pivotal and important thing that we can do for our health is breathe. Without water, without food, we can survive, but you hold your breath 30 seconds and then potentially it's a last breath.
I tell everybody that when they're stressed, they should think, are they going to remember that particular aggravation in 5 years? And if they're not going to remember it, then it's not worth being stressed over. Because so many times people get very upset about things, and a couple of years later, you don't even remember it. So that's great. So the event is June 9th from 1 to 4 at the Westchester Community College. Which building?
Room 200.
In the classroom building.
In the classroom building.
And the classroom building is right near off Knollwood Road. That is great. And is there a charge for this?
There's $20 for a ticket, but if people come as a group, there are discounted rates.
That is, that is great. Could you, you were talking about the National Seed for Health campaign. Could we discuss that a little bit?
Yes, of course. So, like I shared before, so what I can say is how Westchester is contributing or participating in this movement, because it is a national movement. So, in the United States, we have over 100 locations. So, in every state, they are providing these conferences and this campaign. So, for Westchester, one of our visions is to create 100 outreach locations. What an outreach location is we teach at the center, but not everyone can make it to the center, so we'd like to provide service to reach out to the community, whether it be a nursing home or school or a corporate office, where we can go and we teach classes there. So far in Westchester County, we already are teaching in over 50 locations. So this is how we can provide the seed movement into our outside environment.
That is great. Susan, how did you find out about this organization?
I bought a Groupon. And I had been looking for a long time. I had retired and found that I really needed to find more activity in my life. I wanted to really become healthier myself. And I was going through and found a Groupon, and when I walked into the center, I just felt the energy and the people, and I just knew that I was in the place that I needed to be.
You know, I have a question that might be a dumb question, but since you're a nurse, you know, when people go to hospitals, the family members are usually very stressed, and I'm wondering if it would make sense for a hospital to have like a yoga program for family members. If that could really help alleviate the stress where, you know, somebody's visiting somebody who's sick, especially if they're long-term health problems, or there's a nursing home and somebody has problems and all the caregivers are real stressed. I mean, could this help them?
I think there's a lot of parts of this yoga practice that could help people, even if it's not a whole class, just even parts of it, to help them be able to focus better on what they need to do, whether they're healing or whether they're helping somebody in a healthcare crisis.
Does is yoga for everybody?
Yes.
How difficult is it?
There's different levels to the yoga practice. So basically, yoga means just unification of mind and body. So traditionally, there's only maybe 30 to 40 poses, mostly sitting down. But as time went on, we created so many poses, and especially in this country, it became very fitness-based yoga, which a lot of people can do. And most yoga injuries are geared towards men, unfortunately. So we want to provide a simple way to deliver this practice to everyone.
So your yoga is not for people who only love exercise, but it's for people who may be more sedentary but are stressed.
Exactly.
So that's great. How much time does somebody, if somebody feels they're really stressed, how much time do they really need in terms of taking the courses you offer? How often should they be going to the class?
If they come to class, we recommend 2 or 3 times a week.
For how long?
Least. At minimum 3 months. We will consider like 3 months a sensitizing period where they get to know their body, how they move their body, and what kind of changes they will experience. So with any practice or diet or anything, we want to give what I would say is about 100 days to test it out.
And is the classes individual or group classes?
We have both. We can do individual sessions for people who are either not able to come to the classes or just prefer it be geared as an individual base.
And you mentioned that the class, that you don't have to be an athlete to take your program. If you're not an athlete, your stress level could go down as well.
Exactly.
So this is really great. Have you had like a lot of success stories?
Well, we have a lot of. Susan is one of our success stories. Yeah, we have several success stories. Many people.
Recently, one member, we met the person at Whole Foods, and so we met one person at the Whole Foods, and she had a polio, and after 2 weeks training, she doesn't need a cane. She
That's
says
amazing.
it's miraculous.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So you could become a saint now.
Oh yeah. And we have so many miraculous healing stories based on this natural healing process. So basically, the key is let your body heal your body.
And any other interesting stories about people who had successes?
I mean, yeah, Master Bama actually has several that she herself was personally involved in. So I think she's a perfect candidate to share one of the really big healing stories that we had in our practice.
Some of them we come with the tumor and cancer, and we use energy healing. So those people, they learn how to heal themselves, and we educate them. They can heal themselves, like a strong conviction of their own natural healing rhythm. So we have been using this the natural healing power based on the exercises and breathing techniques. So we call that brainwave vibration or belly button healing. So actually in this book, I've decided to live 120 years. This book shows that how we can utilize those methods in our daily practice.
Who is Ilchi Lee?
Good question. Actually, he's my teacher, and he's founder of this Body and Brain Yoga and Tai Chi, and also he's a visionary educator and the best New York Times best-selling author. So he's been developing this training from ancient Korea, the self training method for today's people, the modern society people.
That is, that is, and how old is he?
Actually, he was born in 1950, which is 68.
Right, so he's only halfway there.
That's right. And you know,
He's-
how he come up with the 120 years life concept was, he thought, oh, I'm old enough and I've done enough, so maybe I will take a break, just as any other people retired life. But he met several people over 100 years, still very active physically and mentally. So he realized that our physical body, biologically, is capable to live 120 years, but not everyone can think that way. So that's why he wanted to suggest we can perceive our lifespan with a different purpose.
Yeah, my uncle lived to 100.
Oh.
Just recently passed away, but he was healthy for, all but maybe a month of his 100 years. Now, the question is, would people, the average person, want to live to 100, 20, if they could? Would you like to live to like 120?
I didn't think like that, but at the beginning, but when I read this book, and since we teach this method, I think it's very possible, and these millennials, naturally, they will expect to live 120. So when we think about the retired, that social security system, it's installed back then about 100, something like that. So I would say, as long as you have a good purpose to live long, and we have capability to utilize our like a personal or group, the senior generations. So I think we should provide the mentorship for the society.
And a lot of people, even in their 90s, have a good quality of life. So like 90 is the old 60.
That's right.
Exactly.
And what do you think makes this book different than all the other books on aging?
Okay. Well, I've been reading so many the longevity health related books, but then we wanted to have this book not only just for the elderly people, but from children age. So if we can decide, I want to live this far because I wanted to do something. So for that, I want to prepare myself how to manage my stress like a seed, eat well and exercise well and diet properly. So based on that, like a choice of my life quality, how I can manage my life better, so then we can have a better chance to provide good service for the humanity and the earth.
That is great. In the book, there's a chapter about be close to nature.
That's right.
And what does that mean?
Okay, so actually we are the nature. We came from the nature, and it has two meanings. Close to the nature means literally go to the nature and have some time. Make the time come out from your ordinary boundaries, but you make yourself getting closer to the nature, and getting close to the nature also at the same time you become one with yourself, reconnect with yourself. That's why we emphasize 1 minute connection time. So in every hour, just take 1 minute time off to connect with you. So we call that 1 minute 통천 exercise. So in order to help people, we developed that free app.
Do you feel that people do better if they're doing yoga, say, outside, or it doesn't matter really?
If they can practice outside, of course, it's much more beneficial. They get to receive it, the kind of direct stimulation from the earth. But whether it's inside or outside, it's okay.
And what's some of the big mistakes that people make when they take yoga from other companies?
I would say probably overdoing it, not knowing themselves enough, or just kind of doing it for the wrong reasons, and then pushing beyond the point that they can handle, and then obviously causing injury.
So sometimes yoga, for some people, is more of an exercise, but it
Yes.
really should be exercise of the mind,
Right.
as well as a physical exercise.
Right.
I would think. Could you? There's a lot of people who live in, Greenburgh, who don't have a lot of patience, and they're looking for a 1 minute exercise. Is there a 1 minute exercise for people who don't want to spend an hour?
That's the point. Like so many people say, I don't have time, but they have plenty of time to Google it or Facebook and Instagram. If you have 1 minute to research that online, you definitely have time to do a 1 minute exercise.
Could you tell us about the 1 minute exercise?
Yeah, so when we think about exercise, mostly preconception is that we have to do exercise for 15, 30 minutes, 1 hour. I would say conventional, like a gym training, especially as myself being a long-term trainer, is that we need to do training 60 minutes or 90 minutes long, or there's no effect. So we kind of crunch ourselves in this very rigid timeline. So we cultivated this routine of 1 minute exercise. So basically it's designed to get you up every hour, on the hour, to do some exercise, whether it be push-ups, squats, sit-ups, breathing, body tapping. Any exercise is okay, but fully engaging yourself within 1 minute of time.
So I think people are going to be disappointed because when I said 1 minute, they thought it was going to be like a minute a month or something, or a minute a week. But so it's a minute every hour.
Every hour.
So again, they're doing at least something. And is it more strenuous exercise? Like if somebody does, like an hour of regular exercise, are you asking them to go like the max for that 1 minute?
Well, in comparison to 1 hour of exercise, within that 1 minute, you want to increase the intensity for sure, because that's how we're going to get the benefit. So we increase the intensity within that 1 minute time. It's no different than if I train at 50% for 30 minutes versus training at 100% for 1 minute.
Do you think that could really produce results as little as a minute?
Of course, because through the intensive exercise, we produce what's known as the BDNF, which is the brain-derived neurotrophic factor. It's basically a structural function of the brain that allows you to regenerate the brain cells and then the synaptic connections, as well as the cognitive function. So several things like Alzheimer's and dementia and these kind of the ailments are caused by the lack of producing that protein in the brain.
I find with myself and my job that I don't get as stressed as people would normally think. I do exercise like an hour and 15 minutes in the morning every day before I go to work. And then in the summer, I try swimming a mile. Do you think that helps? Is that one of the reasons why I'm generally a little more calm?
Exactly. So within your 1 hour of swimming, there are moments where you give your 100%, especially when you reach the tired point and you need to pass the bar. So from that moment you push, and then from that moment your brain basically lets you know that I need to produce more to keep going.
In terms of whether organizations are not-for-profit or for-profit, could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, actually, Body and Brain is for-profit organization, and in order to serve the humanity, general health and life, and also this Body and Brain support 4 nonprofit that we established. One is the ECO, Earth Citizen Organization, which is located in Arizona, and actually this seed campaign is supported by ECO. And we have 3 more. The IBREA is International Brain Education, the association which serve the brain education for third world countries, including the South America and Africa. And another one is the Tao Fellowship, which serve the human consciousness and spiritual education for the humanity. So all this area that we've been helping by doing the Body and Brain education, and also the last one is Body and Brain Foundation. So all masters and members actually they are supporting these 4 nonprofit organizations.
And how could people get involved?
Basically, when they come to center, they get to know about our training and they become better. And then actually members, they voluntarily take action to help people. They teach at park, school, or church, in their home, their work. Whatever they learn, even simple 1 minute exercise, they try to help people. So I would say the easiest way is like go to website bodyandbrain.com or come to the center and experience one of the trial class. Actually, during this seed campaign, whoever comes to this campaign, we would like to give the one trial class coupon to taste how it works, so then they can take with them.
That's great. In the book, they talk about discovering new sources of happiness. And could you tell us a little bit about that?
Actually, have you heard about it, vitamin H?
Happiness?
Very good. And a couple of days ago, I visited the Whole Food and I tested it. Do you have vitamin H? And they say, oh, let me check with my manager. So vitamin H, in this book, we say hope. So giving myself hope and dream is the new source of life.
So, so a lot of people need to struggle to find happiness.
That's right.
And what do you do for somebody who's generally a complainer and is always looking at the negative stuff rather than the positive stuff?
So people basically are stressed out or not satisfied because something not fulfilled or lacking. So I would say when we have a lack of energy, tend to become negative or cranky and easy to be judged or self-conscious. So basically, this training designed to make ourselves self-sufficient. So that's why I would say raising the energy bar by moving ourselves. So that's why this book recommends physical power, heart power, and brain power.
I was just sort of thinking, if somebody has a major illness and they're in a nursing home or in a hospital, could yoga help them?
Yes, of course.
Yes, there are many things that you can do very easily, even in a hospital bed. One of our exercises is toe tapping, which really helps to stabilize your energy and breathing. And there are other things that you can do to really help you rebalance your body, even if you're in the hospital bed.
So, if somebody's down in the dumps, what would you, how would you approach that person?
Well, being down in the dumps is basically a state of negativity, and just becoming more attuned to more positive things. One of the things we stress is limiting the information that we take in. There's so much information out there that we allow to come in that's negative, and we absorb that instead of the things that are positive. So one way to do that is focus more on the positive. And another way is just taking these 1-minute breaks to reset the negative button. You get wrapped up in this loop, and just taking a 1-minute break can help you dissolve that.
Great. And in terms of the chapter, there was a chapter, What We Leave Behind.
That's very fundamental question. So we are going to live whether 100 or 120 or 80, but after that, what do we want to give back to the next generations? Because human history has been continuous until now, but we can't just think my generation. So we wanted to have better circumstance for our next generations. So that's why currently human being, we really need to make a really good choice. And then I would say that everyone should participate. This is a seed movement for our generation and for continuing human history.
We're running out of time, so could you just tell us again where the event is next week?
It's at Westchester Community College, classroom 200.
What time and what day?
Pre-event is from 12 to 1, and main event is from 1 to 4, and that is a Saturday.
That's great. And if people want or get a ticket or more information, how do they do
They
so?
can contact us at our center.
And what's the phone number?
914-713-1333.
Right. You see, you're so, it's like Zen-like that you don't even give the phone number or contact information, right? Do you want to give it one more time in case we have another second?
Our center number?
Yeah.
914-713-1333.
Terrific. So that's great. I really appreciate your being on this program. I learned a lot, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next Saturday.
Thank you so much for inviting us.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
So-
Great. I'm Paul Feiner, Greenburgh Town Supervisor. Thanks.